Welcome back to the Vainglory China Invitational. Vainglory fans, we are getting into the grand finals. One best of 5 to determine the best team in China right here, right now.
Yeah, it's going to be between DMG and CNL. These guys have fought once before in the winners match of the semifinals. DMG was able to come ahead 2-1, kind of what we expected, a very close matchup here. And I wouldn't expect anything different for the finals.
That's right. We had it. The score ended up being a 2-1 in DMG's favor. But we saw some crazy games. One game was really close. One game was insanely one-sided. I think it's all about compositions and how well these teams show up and play.
Yeah.
Now, I was really expecting Delta to do a lot better, but CNL really showed up versus them and crushed them 2-0 without like a single death in 2 games.
Yeah,
so
it made it look really easy, to be honest. So CNL looks like they're really determined. They might be a little bit tired after all the games that they have played.
Yeah, that's one of the advantages, of course, of rolling with that lower bracket sort of format. Is you actually have to play a lot more games and you have to show a lot more strategies. One of the advantages, of course, of going straight to the finals is you don't have to do that, and that's one of the advantages that DMG has here.
So
players, take your seats. Pretty sure that's exactly what she said.
With that kind of voice as well.
Yeah,
that's exactly
she sounds
what we
just
heard.
like she's like, players, take your seats. The audience is like, whoa.
All right.
But one guy like runs to his seat. He's like, oh my god, I got to do what she says.
Yeah. Well, we actually have Guy 1 returning us on the Chinese screen. I don't know if you noticed that. Girl 2 is still there.
Girl 2 is still there, and also
no reappearance of Girl 1.
Also,
Not really
Queen's
sure what happened.
dad's still sticking around.
I'm not sure what's going on with that. Like, they had the special guest, but he took over the desk, as you guys can see here.
Yeah, look, there it is. Take a look at that just for a second.
Yeah.
We still don't know who Mystery Man is, but he's there, and he's
just chilling. He's just doing his thing.
He's discussing.
He's taking over the desk by far. Like, he's there in the middle. Everybody responds to what he says. He's the host now. Queen's dad, I mean, could actually,
could actually be Queen's dad.
Could get a career in this.
He's like that really involved dad. He comes up on the desk.
I support my daughter 100%.
Everyone's like, all right, yeah, so we're gonna get into the game and stuff. And he's like, no, I really support what she's doing. Have you seen her play? She plays on the team Hunters.
They're like, yeah, we know.
Except
Stop.
he's really into what his daughter does, but he doesn't really understand. He's like, I think he plays that hero Koskazga, and it's like no, it's like not quite it. It's like that's not even what position she plays actually, but
yeah.
So yeah, we're filling time.
He does look like that kind of guy, actually. Just saying, no offense to that guy, but yeah.
I hope that guy watches our VOD and he's like, I don't know who I am.
He's actually like one of the main, BBC China guys probably. They were talking about BBC.
Yeah, he's like big deal. He's like the voice actor for like Ringo in China or something. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry.
Could be. I don't know. He has a good presence on the desk during this time. So.
Yeah. He's clearly been saved for the grand finals. Or rather the semis and grand finals.
Yeah. So it's the first time we've seen him at least.
Yeah, that is the case. Girl 2's holding it down too. She's
done a good job. For sure.
All right, let's introduce these players again. For those who tuned in late, it's time for the grand finals. Leo is our roam. Now playing nothing but Arden today. He's given that L logo again. At least I think that's what he was doing over there. Could have been doing some inappropriate gestures.
Every single time where he shows, codename L. Here's Godfather, a face that everybody who follows Vainglory over here in Asia should know. Played over for Hunters in the VIPL Season 1. He just did an L, but then he realized that he's now part of Codename L, and he's like,
losers!
Codename losers. Well.
Oh, he winked at me. Did you see that?
Oh, I missed it.
I think he's kind of trying to tell me something. It was very subtle.
Yeah. He saw you were growing a beard, decided to try to grow out his mustache as well.
He does have that upper stash, man. It reminds me of codename Lo Sierra from StarCraft.
Yeah.
But here is MX, the basically filler for DMG, but he's been playing mostly that roam role, a little bit of jungle, and here he is, Ken, playing some incredible Ringo. Just recently, we saw him once today, yesterday, and then twice today, and up against his opponent over here.
Dead
Doll.
Really cool.
Great Rona player. I don't know why it took me so long to think of.
Is he the Rona? No, I don't think he's the Rona
I
player.
think he played Rona.
Did he really?
Yeah, I think he did. Like just recently.
But
He's also played Koshka.
support like most of the time. He's played that Rome.
He did also play he did play Arden once, but in his profile it says that he's all around and lists Ringo, Scarf, and Fortress. So
it's hard to know where these guys are going anyway.
He's kind of done a lot. All right, well, this is it, guys. This is the grand finals. We're going into game number 1 very shortly, but before that, we will have our picks. And I'm expecting that Ringo is not going to be banned. It's going to be a potential pick, like a pocket pick they could use, but I don't think they will use it. It's more to counter the dependency that Raichu had on Celeste. And then kind of how they pitch.
It works out well for them as well. I mean, we were making fun of Ringo at the beginning of the tournament because every single time it came out, that straight up weapon power Ringo just got destroyed every single time.
The
he was
hybrid
going up
build
against Celeste, going up against Sky at times.
Yeah.
Then the hybrid build.
Yeah, the hybrid build allows you to have a more burst damage sort of ult in the late game, where you can actually burst a hero out, and then you can use your remaining weapon power, which you obviously built independently of your crystal power. Or crystal damage in order to do that, finishing blows. Yeah. You want to eliminate a squishy hero, eliminate a weak hero, get rid of them early, and then just keep hitting as hard as you can.
It's interesting also that the weapon power that he just built is tension bow, so it's also a lot of burst damage that's coming out of his weapon power. It's not necessarily like he's going for a Sorrow Blade or anything like that. It's also very cheap compared to some of the other weapon power, weapon damage items that you can build. So. He does, for just a short time, even maybe just for that burst damage. Maybe he doesn't even consider it really like a hybrid. He's like, no, I just get tension bow within my crystal power build.
Yeah.
In a way.
Well, that does make sense.
Would love to talk to him. Maybe one day there will be a Vainglory China tournament that we could cast, and maybe we could talk to him, or maybe he'll come over here if they win.
If they win, because he's no longer on Hunters, so he's not necessarily going to be. Coming. I'm not even know why I said that. I'm like, that's not even the right player. I was thinking of Godfather.
I mean, at least it's the lane for the other team.
I'm like, oh man, that was really bad. That was a bad move.
Godfather's a cool guy too.
Yeah, Godfather's not necessarily going to be here is what I was going to say, but yeah, Ken is the one we're talking about here. Really dropped the ball there. Awkward.
I don't know, man. We're going to have to get someone else in here. Like, where's Monty right now? No, it's fine. But yeah, I talked to all of Hunters, by the way, when Godfather was on that team. They're all really cool.
I met them very briefly. I didn't talk to them in depth, but I did meet them when they were here for season 1. Really cool team. Queen, pretty good personality.
Yeah.
Going on the desk earlier as well.
Well, I could see her, foresee her being, maybe girl number 3 in the future.
She could be girl number 3.
Could happen.
I hope it's more like she's girl number 4 or 5 because I'd like to see her stay as a competitive player for a little bit longer before she goes into.
No offense towards girl number 1 or girl number 2, they're probably nowhere near as good as Queen. Like, who knows if they even played the game? Like,
well, Queen's the best girl player in the world, and also one of the top players in the world overall, regardless of gender. So no way they're as good as her. Otherwise, they'd be playing in a tournament, Brandon. Come on, are you crazy? Maybe
they wouldn't be casting; they'd be playing. Right?
Girl number 2 goes and slaps Ken and sits down. She's like, no, I know the better Ringo build than you.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe.
Well, we're having a bit of downtime here. Oh, just as I said, it's time for the picks.
Ringo
is banned. Wow.
Yeah.
That is, I think, unnecessary, and we are definitely going to see Sky.
Yeah, Sky's coming out. Will it be Sky on Sky? I believe so. There's one Sky. There's 3 Ardens. Actually, there's 4 Ardens.
Well,
because one of them already got locked in.
Only Leo can play Arden. Fortress for Lolly.
Interesting. He doesn't go for Rona. Huh.
Well,
he was playing a sick Rona. Maybe it's because he foresees Sky being picked.
I think he wants Ken to win in the lane early game, and he's going to use Fortress to harass a little bit more, and then just wants that better mobility than what Rona can give.
Yeah, I mean, Sky is a pretty slippery hero as well. I think the jump for Fortress has a lower cooldown than the jump for Rona.
Yeah, definitely
as well.
does.
So, I see where that Fortress is coming from. Also,
I feel like Fortress somewhat better than Rona. can counter jungle and get you further ahead when you take small advantages, or if you're behind and you use that jungling. So something that we can see. But let's get this game started. Game number 1 in the grand finals of the very first Vainglory China Invitational between CNL and DMG. CNL spawning on the red side. Now, pay close attention to the lane. Ken versus Godfather is definitely going to be where you want to focus most of your attention, especially here in the early game. Whoever wins this lane, whoever ends up getting a lead and gets more farmed, will likely, carry the game.
Well, look at this. We already have a team fight going on.
And it looks like it's going to go towards CNL for now. An early kill here with Fortress. But we do see MX grabs that kill as well, so it's going to be a 1-for-1 trade. I love that crowd audio we got here.
Yeah. It's funny, that sounded exactly the same twice. Interesting. Same people cheering for the same team.
I'm like, both of those...
For different teams, rather.
Both of those people just like seeing characters die.
Could be. We did have Rona surviving on the side of DMG, so slight advantage there, is able to get that farm. Whereas Leo surviving on the side of CNL, so he's
Yeah, he's not able to really clear that jungle. Wow, just some back and forth Sky on Sky action here. You ever notice that Sky's attack sounds like a woodpecker?
What?
Listen.
That one?
Yeah.
You mean the forward barrage?
Yeah.
Or?
Yeah, the forward barrage sounds like a woodpecker.
Yeah, kind of, I suppose.
So, who do you think's going to take this?
I think it's going to be DMG. If I had to give my official prediction, I'd say probably DMG 3-1.
I want to say...
I'd be willing to put at least 10,000 won on that.
Oh,
if anyone's thinking about that.
I just don't want us to miss a big team fight here, but I want to get into what you're talking about in a second. But we just see Fortress actually trying to knock MX out of the fight. Leo's taken a ton of damage as well. And I want to say DMG takes it 3-0. That's my prediction. But I think CNL is going to make each game closer than the overall 3-0 score.
Okay. So 3-1, 3-0. Looks like DMG so far is leading in the bets.
Yeah. But I mean, I think that this first game is going to be a big momentum shifter. We might even see the follow-up drafts change as a result of this first game.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if they ban out Ringo, but Sky turns out to be too big of a problem, like Ken does a really good job or something, they take game 1, probably going to ban out Sky, find a way to deal with Ringo.
Well, both Ken and Godfather are incredible Sky players. We've seen this clash before, and Godfather usually ended up getting the better end of things. But it's all about the support as well, you know. How much support does Godfather get? In this case, his team comes to back him up. Then he goes in and darts down, trying to kill Lolly. Unfortunately, he's not going to be able to get that kill. Forcing a scout trap to be placed in the lane as well. It was a lot of fear there from CNL.
Yeah.
But pretty even farm at this point.
Especially early on. You don't want to put that scout trap there. You want it for vision. We are going to see MX trying to go for the kill, but a really nice juke by Lolly.
Yeah,
get out of there.
Getting that speed boost for just a second. Now mining has begun.
Yeah. Wow, you're so good at Chinese Wolf.
Yeah.
I can't believe you can read that. It's really hard.
I'm so talented. But, this game right now is really, really even. Slightly to DMG. Godfather and Ken basically even in farm. I think the slight lead for DMG comes from that early death. Where, like you said, Leo couldn't really farm the jungle, whereas Rona could. MX was able to get that farm, so I think that's the majority of that tiny, tiny lead that DMG has right now.
Yeah. Well, it looks like Fortress and Arden here, Lolly and Leo, Team Code L, gonna hold down the fort here in the lane, while Sky does go back. Leo's gonna get caught.
Definitely gonna go down there. Bit of an overextension. And Ken is headed back to the jungle, in fact, right now. I think maybe to make sure that they can protect the gold mine, which I believe is being taken out. They're not quite going for it yet. They might rotate back towards that gold mine. So I want to point out Leo and Lolly both holding flares for extra safety, whereas we only see Dead Doll on DMG's side holding that flare just for that extra safety. Not a ton of scout trap coverage just yet for either side. This first gold mine is going to be really important for momentum.
Godfather expending a lot of his energy here to push that lane up. See this a lot of the time when they want to go down here and buy, or either just join up with their team and go for a bit of a 3-on-2, or, you know, just put some pressure on the lane as well.
Trying to check for scout traps right now, and because they didn't have that vision, they didn't know where the traps were, they decided not to go for that gold mine.
Yeah, and able to pick up Frostburn, as I've said many a time. I'm sure you guys are sick and tired of hearing it if you've been watching every single day, but Frostburn is very key on Sky, extremely key. You need that slow to lock him down and make sure your forward barrage is doing a lot of damage and not missing.
That's right. Well, big fight here, potential. Looks like basically just pushing CNL back behind the turret. Lolly is going to go and clear up some of this jungle farm. Leo to join as well. Rona is stealing, meanwhile, the middle farm of the jungle.
Oh, they're going for a big invade.
Oh, yeah, they are. Don't forget that Godfather wants Ken to leave the lane so he can actually farm better.
Oh, but Godfather's actually
he's actually going to find, he's going to come and fight. He's going to get Ken from behind. Ken was not ready for this. He's going to force a Fortress ult. We do see 2 Sky ults going off as well, but it looks like Rona is going to grab that first kill on Ken. Godfather remains alive. He does fall down eventually here. It's going to be a 2v2, but it's actually going to go CNL's way. Holly escapes just barely.
Can you get away, though? That is the question. Gonna try to get that movement speed boost. You saw Arden trying to get close, but just not quite able to. And once again, that definitely goes towards DMG because Rona's going to survive, and she should be able to solo this gold mine.
Well, hopefully so. We're still at like 7 minutes. We saw a failed attempt to this last time. I think this time it will work, yeah.
Arden's going to attempt to steal.
She's 4-0 as well, so she's pretty fed at 7 minutes.
Could possibly steal here.
Nope.
Not quite. Didn't even give it a shot. It's just like, I'll just walk by.
Well, I think wanted to bait, so Ken could maybe try to grab that kill, but it's not going to happen. Actually, I didn't see how much gold was that at that time.
I think it was like 283.
Yeah, I guess so.
A very big gold mine.
At 7 like 30, so nearly a full one. Godfather currently holding 65 CS. But so is Ken. They're dead even right now. No kills for either. With Arden here to support, they want to jump on Ken.
Sky does so much damage. And Godfather getting the way better end of that trade.
Just continue to push the lane. And Ken's really struggling. Yeah. Here comes Lolly and Leo together.
Where's that Rona? MX needs to join up. Gauntlet's going to go down.
Oh, big gauntlets here. Also big Sky ults going down for both players. Ken is going to be the first to fall, though. He was so early, so low from that earlier skirmish. And Leo is very, very low. Looks like he will survive here, at least for now. Lolly taking a ton of damage, but they're fighting under turret, which means I think they're staying a bit too long. Arden going to help get this kill, and if they get Leo, I guess it's going to work out. Oh, they did not get Leo, but Dead Doll does survive.
Yeah, but look at how much pressure they put on. I was kind of questioning that dive as well, but Godfather's owning up this game on Sky right now, making Ken look like not the best Sky player, when in fact it's really just, you know, early advantages that Godfather was able to get. He's got, you know, some extra items and also, you know, the support of his teammates as well. But funny how they were able to turn that fight around and actually win it just base, you know, it was like 2-on-3 even. And Godfather was just able to lock down a target very early on. And from there, they turned it into a 3-on-2 and won that fight.
Ken very ambitious here, trying to just put some damage off on that turret. I understand why, though. When you're this far behind, you got to take risks like this. But he used a lot of his energy, and as a result, is going to have to kind of back off now. Gold mine about halfway done with its mining, with a 3K lead here for DMG, going into the 10-minute mark. And Gauntlet going to lock Ken in. He had no support for his team. Scout Trap spotted them in the jungle. Not only did they kill Ken, but they're going to take that first turret. This is going to put them at an incredible lead. They're nearly doubling the gold of CNL currently, and they're not done yet. They're going to continue to push this forward, even dropping down another ult. Fortress is going to have to ult to try to keep them alive. Chasing down Dead Doll now. And fighting under turret, might be able to pick up one kill here. It's actually going to be Godfather that goes down. Will Dead Doll fall as well? Looks like the answer is yes. And Lolly escapes yet again.
Wow, just able to do a huge amount of damage there. Everybody was very, very low from DMG. Just cleaning that up. MX, of course, it's kind of that target that you never want to target, right? Because if you target Rona and she gets a good red mist off and regens and Sky's in the back doing an immense amount of damage, you're going to lose the fight, right? So I would be surprised if we see MX die at all if DMG is ahead, right? If they get wiped, that's a different story, of course, but I'm not sure if CNL is going to get to that place in this game.
Well, they're going to actually try to contest this gold mine, and MX comes in, and Lolly's caught at the back and cannot escape. Will be killed very easily here if he doesn't get out, but no, he dies right away. We do see that the gold mine is taken. It's Leo who's able to secure that, but will it matter if they get aced? Leo needs to get out. He's on his way. One more jump from MX, plus the boost there from Arden will lock him down. 5 seconds to go before the ace. Yeah, 5 seconds, 3 seconds to go. And they will avoid that ace.
Oh, just barely. Somehow, some way. But there you go. No ace. Still able to pick up Arden. So very nicely done. DMG continuing to push that lead. They do lose the gold mine, of course, but I think that's the least of their worries right now. They gain so much map control, they can take out this turret now.
Yeah. A lot of damage being put on this lane as well by Godfather. Nearly taking that turret out. They can retake the gold mine, which isn't going to give them much gold, but it'll be a, another objective to take. As 3 minutes to go until Kraken will spawn. I'd like to see them take the gold mine here. Actually, it looks like they're not going to do it though. Maybe try to bait a fight there.
I think that's more of what they're trying to do, just wait and see what CNL is going to do. They have a lot of vision here. Even this scout trap spotting both. I'm surprised they don't check for that, but look at this.
They're going to find Can. Can even going to step onto some scout traps here. Fortress Ult goes down. Great gauntlet there, though, coming out from Dead Doll, and he's actually going to help lock down this fight. Can, from the back, though, does escape, does a lot of damage, but unfortunately finds himself falling. If Lolly dies here right now, it's going to be an ace, and now they can easily push down that turret. Looks like they might leave Rona to clear this gold mine very quickly. And Sky, of course, like I said a million times, one of the fastest lane pushers, one of the fastest single target damages, can push this lane quickly and kill that turret so they get both the gold mine and the turret. Then after they get this turret, they're probably just going to rotate back down and take that whole jungle wave away from CNL.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. You called the 3-0 Wolf for DMG. I think it definitely does seem like DMG is the favored team coming into this one. And after this dominating performance, I don't know. I'm kind of doubting my 3-1 score even, but we'll have to wait and see. This is a long series.
Yeah, I mean, this is just game one.
Yeah, maybe a little bit later they'll find a way to knock a game or two off of DMG. Yeah, they've taken control of the gold mine. They have tons of scout traps, you'll notice, even on the spawns of the minion camps in the jungle. So they're seeing everywhere that CNL is going at this point.
One of the cool things about doing that with a scout trap too is if you don't react perfectly and quickly, if you go in with an AoE hero to grab that, sometimes you can actually, the scout trap will actually steal the farm as well. So it's just like a nasty, nasty situation all around. I think it happens more to Koshka than to Lolly on Fortress, for example, but probably something that happens every now and then.
Well, just clearing up this wave. Even a scout trap there in the lane for a bit of extra vision, and possibly if they get a fight down there, it will help out. You see Rona is picking up some of these jungle minions once again. Really, they have control of like 3/4 of this map. They're slowly suffocating CNL to the point where they can't farm. They haven't taken any of the minion mines. I think taking this minion mine here for CNL is very smart because it's going to make it much harder for DMG to push. And if they want to counteract that, they're going to have to take a minion mine, which they didn't really want to do. They didn't want to give that gold to CNL.
Yeah. I feel like it's scary, though, if you take that minion mine, because it means Godfather, as he's continuing to push, will get a little bit more gold. But he's already at an incredible farm at 129, 133 now CS. And some of that, of course, more recent CS will be boosted. 143 more gold going to each member of DMG now as the Kraken spawns. Another potential opportunity if they win a team fight. Lolly sees an opportunity here on Dead Doll, is going to jump in. Rona is out of the fight, and Dead Doll is actually going to get blown up here potentially buy that gauntlet. Barely escaping. Lolly is on the chase here, but will it matter? He looks like he's poised to fall as well.
Yeah, look at that. He's getting a ton of lifesteal down, and Rona is going to fall. Now it's up to Godfather to try to do a 1-on-2.
And he's going to kill Ken, and he might actually be able to get Leo as well now. This is actually crazy. He's just that much more farmed. He's just that much stronger. And, yep, he's going to take it. He's going to get that ace. And actually might even be able to push a turret down. It's going to be tough. I think he's just going to push the lane out.
Yeah, just get a bit of farm, you know. Get some of that gold. He got so many of those kills and all this wave, so going to be able to put some pressure on, of course, and go back and buy more huge items. He's already got 3. We've got a Frostburn Eva Harvest and a Broken Myth, as well as a Reflex Block. Godfather's looking untouchable right now.
I think he could even take this minion mine if he wants to. Somewhat risky. Minion mines at this stage of the game with someone like Godfather, though, with a hero like Sky, it's not going to last much longer than a normal minion camp in the jungle. So, just playing it safe here, playing it patient. Always going to back. They might try to grab Kraken here. Wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility.
With Sky, you know, we talk about this all the time. You could get it so quickly. They have all the vision in the world, you know, over 3/4 of this map. They could have gone for it, but it seems like they're playing it safe for now.
I think they know that they can just continue to siege and they have control of the game. Getting Kraken might win them the game, but it also could give, you know, just a ton of gold to their opponents. Looks like they are going to take it, though, nonetheless, and it's, again, coming down to that quick clear time of Godfather. They're actually going to stop taking it, though. The Kraken is aggroed, and there's a crazy amount of things happening here as the gauntlet does go down, and down goes Leo. Looks like he's going to be the first to fall. The Kraken is taken as well by Rona, so the Kraken is actually active in this fight. And as Ken is the last man saying, they will find him and eliminate him. Although Ken is going to pick off Dead Doll before he goes down, so that was a bit of an odd circumstance. But again, Godfather carries the fight, and this is kind of going to be the story potentially of this series.
Could be. You know, Godfather's really on his game. I think after that series that they initially had against CNL, where he was part of the reason why they lost Game 2. He just kept dying and playing way too risky. I think after that series, they sat down and talked with him and said, hey, sit back, play your game, don't try to do too much. And that's exactly what we're seeing here. It's really impressive.
That being said, he hasn't even had that much pressure this game either, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
He's playing a much safer game in general, but he's also under much less pressure. This right here is more of the same of what we saw in the previous series, but at this stage, every second they spend dealing with Godfather is one less second they're dealing with the Kraken, which is upon their turrets. So a lot of damage wasted in some regards here, you could argue. One turret goes down.
Going to be able to get that one turret.
Not going to get the second one.
Sky kind of missing there, but can't really fault him. He had a perfect Sky ult in that last team fight. He hit all 3 members, actually, with the stun. Turned out not to matter. I mean, they are so far behind at this point, and with the Kraken in the mess, it was a very messy fight, so.
Yeah. Very quick jungle clear here from Fortress. Yeah. Now that Godfather is back up, we can set up for another engagement.
Wolf, why don't you play more Fortress? I mean, Fortress is a wolf.
I used to play a lot. My duo queue partner played more than me, though, so she was always playing Fortress, so I was having to play other roles. I was often playing Glaive. This Fortress was being played as support back then. That was before Roam was even the title of what it was called.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I used to play a lot. I love Fortress, though. Really cool hero. He and I know about the Law of the Claw.
Yeah, you guys bond on that for sure. Look at all those scout traps there, by the way, that spotted their every move in the jungle. They still have not cleared those out. Those are really tricky ones.
Yeah, they're well placed.
Definitely, if you are a Vainglory play, you play a lot of solo queue, you can steal those if you're a roamer. Just drop them down. Generally, especially at the lower levels, they won't even expect that.
And hey, let's be real, anyone can buy a scout trap. You don't have to be buying it as a roamer.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Anyone can buy a scout trap. If you're a roamer who's not buying them, hey, spend some gold.
If you're a roamer who's not buying them, then you're not a roamer. I mean, you're not doing your job.
So, I mean, they're just basically taking control of all the farm that's available, you know. They have a monopoly of the farm on this map, and Kraken will spawn in another minute or so, which could potentially end them the game. think they're just kind of hoping that DMG, or excuse me, that CNL is going to try to make something happen and they're going to wipe and win the game that way. Otherwise, if that doesn't happen, they're going to take all the farm that exists and then wait for Kraken to spawn, and they're going to go for that. And that will be how they force the fight. They're not going to do anything rash. They're not going to do anything silly.
Yeah.
Look at this. They're not going to go into that bush. Okay, here we go. Big gauntlet here. But will it matter? That's the question. So much damage being burst down into Lolly here. Does try to use that Crucible to keep himself alive. Down he goes, though, and down goes Leo. And it looks like this is going to be the game-ending fight here. CNL trying one last attempt to win that fight to get them back into the game. It's not going to happen. And DMG going to win this game with 5 turrets standing, 23-10. And this does not bode well going to the rest of this series with this kind of domination. We'll see if CNL can bring it back, but DMG takes game number 1. A really, really nice composition and, basically safe play.
Yeah, very nicely done. I think CNL is going to have to go back to the drawing board and think about their bans, because that's kind of scary. Godfather's Sky, they let him have it before in the last series that they had, and he didn't play it well. He died 7 times. I think it was 0-7 at some point. This time around, he's playing very well, and I think they're just going to have to ban it out. I don't think you can give it to him. Ken didn't play that Ken Sky that we're used to, right?
Yeah, also really had some trouble, I'd say overall, with just basically dealing with the pressure that he felt in the lane. It wasn't even really like a Ken versus Ken, or excuse me, a Ken versus Godfather win for Godfather.
Talking about Street Fighter now, Ken versus Ken.
Yeah. So we're going to watch this replay, as is kind of the way of things here at the Vainglory China Invitational.
Yeah. There wasn't like any gigantic mistakes, I think, that CNL made throughout the entire game. Maybe here it was a little overzealous to try to jump in for that fight, especially against Arona. But, just little things here and there. Like they didn't have the vision there, they get jumped upon. Slowly, DMG begins to extend their lead.
Yeah, and just looking at this this next fight here, it's just careful positioning. Even though Godfather goes down, you could see how MX is able to turn the fight around and knows exactly when to chase. Nice juke attempt here by Lolly. Remember, Arden's trying to get that speed boost to him, but it's not able to do it over the wall. And this is another one of those fights. I'm trying to remember which one this one is.
One of those ones in the middle, They dive the turret and they get one more. And get a bit of damage done to the turret as well.
Yeah.
They don't kill Leo here, I remember.
Yep. Not able to. And this is when Ken gets caught.
Yeah, the reflex block gets totally caught out there